What's going on, gamers? We got an interesting topic here to cover, as we've known about the Xbox outage, but the thing is, we found out something that is actually worse than PlayStation. Yeah, get ready for that. And you want to know what it is? It has something to do with physical disc. And remember, this has been here in front of you the whole time. Plus, they were trying to sell you a discless generation with Game Pass. But the funny thing here is that Xbox physical disc actually have a DRM lockout. Not only do they have a DRM lockout, but they have an entitlement check, even if the DRM lockout was not there. And Microsoft's saying that shouldn't be the case, and they want to fix it and make sure that the DRM lockout gets removed so that you can feel like you have physical ownership to an extent, because it's still nerfed, because Xbox discs are subject to entitlement checks. As we know, if you go and buy Halo, right, a physical copy, it has an entitlement check, and it has an Xbox Live requirement sign-in. You don't have a full physical ownership of that game. The single player game, right? It even tells you on the case of Halo that online aspects are required. You need downloads. Not only do you need to get the download on the disc, because it's not fully on there, you need to sign into Xbox Live, even if you're on PlayStation. This is worse than what Sony has at the moment. That's why what I was saying in that one video, when you go offline on PlayStation, you can still play your games. On Xbox, that's not the case with what was going on. Not only that, but if you have the disc, and that's why people were saying that, and some people weren't believing them, it says right here, Microsoft has confirmed that the recent Xbox outage shouldn't have affected games on disc. Yeah, even if you had the disc, you couldn't play. This one dude was trying to call this guy a liar, saying that, and I wasn't too sure until Microsoft came out and actually made it clear, because I didn't want to talk about something I didn't fully understand yet. I didn't deeply look into it. But after reading all this, you know how some of the articles with times I have paywalls, but this is pretty much what it's about. But once I found out, like it gave me the idea that, yeah, this is worse than PlayStation. And they've been supporting it the whole time. And you don't see this blowing up like it would on PlayStation, right? Because some of the gaming world is fake and manipulated by butthurt Xbox fanboys, by Microsoft, and by certain PC gamers to make PlayStation look way more negative because they're insecure about the success of PlayStation. It happened to Nintendo for a long time too. But the thing here is to let you know, Xbox disc, even if you have the disc, are subject to entitlement checks. Well, PlayStation, you have one verification, and that's it. On Xbox, you have entitlement checks, but they should still be playable offline. Microsoft is sitting here letting you know this. So we see this, right? Xbox outage shouldn't have affected games on disc, but they do. There's a DRM lockout, and the disc are just like a digital license. It's pretty much a physical license at that point. You're not getting physical ownership in the Xbox world. And if you didn't even get that, you're still subject to entitlement checks. Tell me how this system, and AGN was even trying to tell you the digital system is terrible because you can't even access your library. People saw that, but on PlayStation, you can play it offline. PlayStation system is way better. And this is a system that's in effect right now. So Microsoft's diskless future is actually a nightmare. And it will be much worse because we're seeing it right here. And they're trying to get you to, if they have this program coming, right? You were thinking the positron system. They want you to actually convert that physical copy into a digital license that they don't have control over, that's outside of Xbox, as you were told by the CTO or whatever. No, man, because what they're doing is what you're going to do is you're going to make that disc null and void, and now you have a digital license which could be knocked off outside of the Xbox room. How is that secure? That's terrible. So it says a fix to prevent this from happening again will be rolled out soon, which is actually good. But what we want to talk about before this, the whole time, your whole generation, and even in the Xbox One realm, right, generation, this was not the case. And nobody was saying anything about it, right? Isn't that interesting? Why was nobody saying anything about this? You see all the flaws in the Xbox world? It's good that they're actually fixing this, but it's because this happened that had to happen. Imagine if it didn't, it would have been there the whole time without you even knowing that that system was actually in place. And it's actually not in the control of the Xbox world. They let you know it's outside of our jurisdiction, but we're going to try to work with Microsoft to make sure that we can lessen that. But they never said that they were going to prevent it. So your digital library is not safe when Xbox goes down. Infinity says it shouldn't be affecting any games. Basically, that's what he tried to say. If my Series X is set as my home console, like on PlayStation, if you set your PlayStation as your primary console, no matter what, you can play games offline. Digital games should just work offline as long as I've gone online in the last 30 days, because that's the policy. You have to be online in 30 days, or you have to get a verification check. I'll show you right here. Entitlement check. Even for a disc. Yeah, even for a disc. And Tom Warren was just basically saying, he's not even arguing with him. He's just saying, true, right? You see this right here. Going down, Akira says more than 30 days, way longer. Even PC isn't anywhere close to this restrictiveness, pretty much. Infinity says, I agree. In an ideal world, the check-in should be as long as humanly possible. 30 days should be the bare minimum, though. I guess so, but my point is that they're treating everything, like I said, if you look at this whole industry, how do you think a car was? You're going to get your driver's license, right? Not buying to own, but you have to keep checking, you have to keep updating the license, all that stuff. This system has been in place for a while, and now it's taken over the gaming industry without people even knowing. Even servers we saw with Sony, they're renting a license for the server. They don't own their servers. Then you see Xbox, the problem with that is they have multiple aspects that are outside of the Xbox realm. Right? He lets you know that. There are licenses. Man, this is terrible. You shouldn't ever have to go online. This is what is so dumb about digital games. And the fact that they limit it to one console is even more dumb. At PlayStation Network, you only need one-time verification. This is what I was trying to tell you guys. Read this. On PlayStation, right here, Network, you only need one-time verification when the game is being downloaded. No other online check needed. PlayStation Network is way better, even in outages. It is because people were able to access their library. Didn't you find out in the outage, the physical disc is getting hit with a license aspect, as if like you didn't physically own the disc because Microsoft just told you it didn't work offline. It's like, oh, that's terrible. And even after that, you need an entitlement check every 30 days or whatever. However, all that works. Man, I don't know what to tell you, but if you guys are not seeing that Microsoft has been trying to push this before PlayStation even announced their 2028 physical disc shutdown, I don't know what to tell you, because like I said, look at the Series S, look at the Xbox One Era with DRM, and look at Game Pass. All that was not supporting or buying anything, not even digital. And you need to be online for Game Pass. You need to be online for the Series S. It's a discless product. It's been right in front of your face the whole generation. And on PC, there is no disc, but you could actually back up stuff. As you saw, the way GOG was explaining was actually cool. So I want you guys to think about this whole time. And Xbox fanboys weren't saying anything. I guarantee you the Xbox fanboys never told you this, that the Xbox outage versus the PlayStation outage, the comparisons is significant. Xbox outages are way worse, and you have way more restrictions on you. Whereas in the PlayStation network world, that's not the case. And that's not an argument. We're realizing this right here. Emir says, shouldn't require an online check, period. Online dependency on anything bot shouldn't be necessary. It's right there. This guy says, what entitlement is there to check? You have a disc, you're entitled to play it, right? Check this out. Tom Moran says, many games are not actually either on the disc. Like, think about getting a code in a box too. Even worse. Or even playable from the disc without an install. They put like a part of the game on the disc. So there's an entitlement check of the digital install with the disc license. You see that? It is a license. You don't physically own it like you think. Yeah, you may have the disc, but you can't just put it in like that. Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? But it's right here in front of your face. Fair play there. But shouldn't there be a local check? This is a disc-bound digital license. Is there a disc loaded? Cool, let's play. No need for network there. He says, that makes no sense if I have the disc. I have the license to the game. The fact that the publisher didn't put the whole game on the disc is irrelevant. The license is explicitly implied by the presence of the disc itself and should never rely on any form of online validation. Exactly. So, while you think that Xbox was preserving in some sort of way, like, you're getting the idea right here, that was never the case. You can't avoid the online license and verification checks. You see what I'm saying? And most PlayStation games for the generation were literally just letting you have the full disc. Now, that started happening over there to certain games too. But in the Xbox world, it's far worse, as we see, whether you have a disc or whether you have digital, or if you're on straight up Game Pass, you know you're not playing anything. Because most people play like that in that world. If you have a Series S, it's like, oh man. So now we get the whole picture here, how things are actually working. It's worse in the Xbox realm. Well, I know Xbox fanboy tell you any other. You're getting the truth right here. Microsoft is telling you. So enough with all that other stuff. This person says, win Xbox, L for PlayStation, losing, going digital only. See, this person is very slow. What they didn't realize is that they don't understand anything that I just said and what was posted up there. They're just trying to make you to say, oh, just screw Sony only. It's like, what are you talking about? Xbox world is worse. Even outside of this, every other facet is worse. It's a losing platform. So why are we playing this game? Express says, outage, when was this? But I wonder how many of those games needed a verification and couldn't be played. Of course, he didn't try them all because he had no idea. Valor says, why is a physical disc ever subject to an entitlement check? 100% correct, guys. You don't get this in Nintendo Switch world or Nintendo world. Straight physical ownership, and you can take it on the go because you can support physical because the console itself is the handheld. So therefore, you have physical ownership handheld. Try to get a ROG Ally, try to get a PlayStation Portal, try to get a Steam Deck. You don't have anything physical in there. I'm telling you, in Nintendo world, Nintendo's killing it right now, and they have been. That's why I tell people about those grips last year. What do they have to say about that now? Look at how Nintendo's embarrassing everyone. Still $449. You got everybody else. Xbox, by the way, price actually about to go up 2 days from now. $800, $850. Get ready. Switch $449, all physical ownership. Banging exclusives. Double A games like Splatoon Raiders getting 9.3 user rating. Pairing up the charts, gonna be selling millions of copies. Star Fox $49.99. Nintendo dropped the games down, made digital $10 cheaper. Did you see anybody else follow suit? This gives you the idea that companies can independently make these decisions. Microsoft didn't deal with it. They have way more money than Nintendo. PlayStation makes more money from a vampiric standpoint than Nintendo from a third-party perspective because they could just get all those third-party vampiric MTX games just by sitting around and just putting it on their store. We're just speaking the truth here. So yeah, why is a physical disc ever subject to an entitlement check? The presence of this disc is the entitlement check. Plus Nintendo Online is what, $19.99 a year or two, and it's always up. The presence of this disc is the entitlement check. No disc-based game should ever have to call home to make sure it has permission to run. Yeah, that's something you do with a license that's digital. The fact that I inserted the damn disc is the only permission I need. This guy has a very valid point here. That is the point of people raging about physical copies on PlayStation, is that they want that type of aspect. But if you're getting hit with that, then what does it matter? You're in the same position as a digital person, except you have to open the case, get the disc, and imagine that you have physical ownership and it's taking up space, but it's not working as intended. That's why I say we need to think about this. What you should be trying to secure is your digital future and get digital ownership at this point, if it's going to be like this. So we get nothing for not being able to play games we paid money for, nor the console at all. What an effort joke for people who have been a loyal customer for absolutely years. That's what I was saying. You got no compensation in my last video. Didn't do well as I thought it would, but I'm like, we must live in a zombie world. Nobody's complaining about that. Okay. I found out my disk drive is broken during the outage as I was trying to watch Mario on Blu-ray. Looks like I'm already embracing a digital-only future until I can afford to replace it. I buy all of my Xbox games physically on disc and keep my console offline. I'm immune to outages like these. If Xbox brings the next console out with a disc drive, they'll win a generation. Oh my God. Bro, no matter what they do, it's over. You're coping. I'm sorry, no. Why you think they try to push the other format? It doesn't work. You don't buy any games. You're dreaming. It doesn't work that way. Now, I wish that it would be more competitive. I'm not saying I want it to be that way. If Microsoft would have had it, I agree with what Sean Layden said. I missed the days of the green check and the blue check when we were competing and had exclusives and things were actually doing well. But do I believe that's possible for Xbox anymore? No. It's a pipe dream. I think you should be a strong publisher and have optional hardware. Why? Because it's a $1 trillion company. You can make it. So what? Do it. But there's no way I'm going to get into a pipe dream and into a delusional bubble and imagine that Xbox consoles are going to be cheap, like $500-$600, even $700 next generation, and have a physical disc drive and have exclusives and compete head to head with PlayStation and sell like 40-50 million. At least do that. If you could do that, that would actually be nice. But you, man, come on, man. I'm more worried about the PlayStation even getting 60-70 million at the rate that this market is. But I know in 2028, this market is crashing. And it's going to crash, and they're going to be able to drop the price after that. But Xbox hardware, I have no faith in that. I was like, nah. Because how could you? I'm just being realistic. Nerdy Gamer says Xbox consoles need internet day one just to function. I played Assassin's Creed Unity that day. Didn't have a problem with it. Yeah, because it doesn't. That's an older game, bro. During that time, it was working like that. But in the world today with these physical copies, no, man, it's totally different. So... This guy says, translation. We're sorry you noticed our BS background code. Yeah, pretty much. This guy says, offline gaming is so effing important, man. That's Nintendo World is always like that. They have to get it like that because you can take your console with you and you're always in handheld mode. So they preserve that, and I love it. I've done it for a while with the Switch 1 and the Switch 2. Never had a problem offline, ever. There was never no DRM lockout. All BS. I think it's important these days outages happen once in a while so that they can pinpoint the flaws in the system. Good point, man. That's why I say if this didn't happen, you wouldn't have seen that. This opened your eyes more. Think about it. AGN is trying to show you that here. Your eyes got opened. So good post here. A fix to prevent this from happening again. Are they going to fix that so that offline discs will also won't play if there's another outage? Basically. Just do what Nintendo does. Have the digital license movable between machines. So if you're offline, you can play them. If another Xbox with the same account has the same game, it can only be played if online. Hey, I think he's got a good point. Shouldn't have, but they did. And I think that raises some serious questions. The whole time they had it like that in front of you. You just found out, and now they're adjusting to try to act like the good guys. I told you, the last company you ever wanted to be first place and win, which is why the universe did not let them, was Microsoft. That would have been the worst company. PlayStation winning was good. Nintendo winning overall was even better. Steam doing well is fine too, but they don't give anything. They're the biggest vampires or pirates because it's just like, I just get a whole bunch of your games and you can still play my 10, 15-year-old games. But I still haven't provided you anything yearly. At least Microsoft is doing that. But they had to monopolize, though. Not like they did it legitly, like PlayStation and Nintendo. Definitely Nintendo. They've been doing that from in-house since the 80s. They're on a whole nother level. I just speak facts here. Some people can't handle that Nintendo is vastly better. This is butthurt fanboys. Speaking facts here. I ain't glazing or anything. It's like, no, it's the truth. What, did I make up anything? Let me know where I made up something. Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyways... Now we understand this system fully, and we get the idea that the Xbox system was always the worst in the gaming industry, and they are the worst in the gaming industry. All the facts are right there in front of you. Everything has failed. Microsoft has lied to you, and now they're thinking that they're going to hit you with a reset, but I don't know. I think in the long term, they could set it up to where they'll keep whatever they want, and they may sell off the hardware and all that. You never know. I don't trust this company. So become a member. Leave a tip down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys actually think about this. Are you actually shocked that this is actually the way things have been working secretly and you had no idea about it? And AGN actually opened your eyes about it? Let me know what you think. As usual, keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on or no matter what app you're on. GOG, Steam, you know how that works. Later, y'all.